We're joined today by Jonathan Finch, the Group Sales Director there, and also James Denny, the Chief Strategy Geek, to talk us through how they've managed to double their revenue in 4 years. So welcome to Everest, James and Jonathan, and I'll hand it over to you.
All right. Hello again.
Hello. Very good afternoon. Are we coming through loud and clear?
All good.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, guys, very, very good afternoon. Big thank you to everybody at Access Planet for inviting us to come on today. We've been tuning in from the Geek Bunker on the rest of the conference. Some impressive speakers, really, really enjoyed ourselves. So big thank you for inviting us along. My name's Jonathan Finch. I lead the sales team. I'll let James introduce himself.
James Denny and I are responsible for the strategy and our franchise area of our business.
Wonderful. Right, so we'll get cracked on. We thought we had 45 minutes here, but we've only got half an hour, so we are going to be absolutely streaming through this. But a quick overview of what we do. I'm assuming everybody who's sort of tuning in here is in training or consultancy in some way, shape or form based on what we obviously know of Access Planet. But a little bit of an overview as to who we are and what we do. So first and foremost, I'll let you go first on this one. This is your area. You're sales director. Do you want to explain what that is?
So this talk is about how has Sales Geek doubled its revenue. The key thing I just want to point out is we've managed to double our revenue every year for the past 4 years, not just double our revenue over 4 years. We've doubled our revenue from year 1 to year 2, year 2 to year 3, year 3 to year 4. And our current projections is that we will be broadly triple, if not slightly more, our revenue when it comes into the end of this financial year, which will be March 31st. So part of that talk is about how did we get to there. So we've got 4 key products to our portfolio, if you like. We have your sales directors, who we provide out to the business, part-time interim sales directors for organizations that are too small to need to hire or have the ability to hire big, hairy sales directors that have been around forever and a day, but they want that level of sales expertise and sales excellence. Other side of our business is pure sales training, but you have a blended version of that sales training through technology. We're one of the few companies here in the UK and in the world that has its own proprietary software for sales training in terms of pure blend delivery through tech, completely free of charge. You can download it, get loads of sales training and stuff like that. And we then do some blended approach as well. Then we have a consultancy approach to our side of our business where it's more on the strategic level, mergers, acquisitions, exits, all that kind of great stuff. And then we have the development side of our business where we take parts of an organization through leadership and development and all sorts of stuff like that. So blended model, something there for everyone, but stuff that we've evolved over time.
Very nice overview. Very quickly done as well. It's like an elevator.
I had to think about it.
Like an elevator pitch there. Good job we got notes. Yeah, you'd have forgotten a product there. So that's a little bit about us. I mean, judging by obviously what we know from you guys at Access Planet and obviously the audience that those guys have there, I'm guessing that you guys are in a similar sort of boat there. If anyone does have any questions, anyone disagrees with anything that we're saying, wants to throw anything in the mix as well, please throw it through. Charlene Wall can't hear anything. That's never a good start. Guys,
sounds good for it.
That sounds good. Audio's fine here, Charlene. Apologies, Charlene. Not sure, but we'll carry on there. So James and I got together and sort of had to do a bit of a run through really of the last 4 years. And we're trying to pinpoint some of the things that we've done. I mean, we've been very lucky in some areas. We've also made some very good and some very bad decisions. We're going to talk a little bit about the bad decisions as well. But we tried to narrow this down to the 7 key things that we've done over the last 4 years that have allowed us to grow so rapidly, in the hope that you guys can take some of these into your business, into your training organization, and really take that back and follow sort of in the footsteps, really. So very first one, I mean, this is paramount really to everything that we talk about within sales, but get the right people on the bus.
Yeah.
Very, very key for us. Don't get me wrong, we've made some mistakes on this as well. We've made some of the wrong hiring decisions. We've joined up with the wrong partners as we're going along.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we really focus on at Sales Geek is our people and our culture and making sure that we are surrounding ourselves with the right people to start with. Everything within business starts with your people. If your people aren't great, if they're not making the right decisions, it affects everybody else. You can have the greatest program that you're selling, you might have the greatest software that you're trying to sell. Unless you've got great people behind that, you are really going to struggle.
Yeah, agreed. And the key things that I would say, and Jonathan's rightly said it, we have lost some people along our journey because we've recognized that the output, the delivery, or the fit just wasn't right there, and it's been a mutual parting. The key thing is these old terms that you will hear. So hire correctly, fire fast. Yeah, don't take people on a long journey to find out whether they're going to fail. You should know within sort of like a month, 2 months, whether this is going to work out for you or not. So just be sure that you've got the right people behind you. And it's a mix of complementary capabilities is what you're looking for. Whilst we all have a groundwork and a groundswell of sales in our DNA, I have a specialism in mergers, acquisitions, exiting, and all that sort of stuff. Benji has a whole set of skills way beyond mine in terms of purebred sales, sales training, and how to construct some of this stuff together. Richard is all very good at technology and other bits and pieces, and we therefore complement one another. And that's a really important part. And the only other thing I would say about getting the right people around the team is give your team the framework and the freedom by which to create their world, and hold them to account on the deliverables and outcomes you want them to achieve for your business that hits the needles that drives your growth. So rather than micromanage and, oh, what's this, what's that, what's going on here, you own this, this turns that dial, that's your outcomes. I don't care how you get there, go get there. Have your one-to-ones, have all these meetings, but that's how we operate. We trust each other. There are times we have this thing in the business called swim lanes, right? So we like to stick in our swim lane. I do more than most. This man, on the other hand, likes to go all over the place in different swim lanes and touch different things. But it's fine as long as we're honest with each other and we're accountable to each other about what we're doing, what we're delivering, what the impact is. So we're very good at that. And you need to build successful teams to grow your revenues, make sure they're complementary, give them the freedom to operate, create the accountability, let them go do it. And if they're not delivering, cut fast.
Absolutely. And for you guys that might be working completely virtually now, if you've got a mobile workforce, I mean, a lot of organizations haven't gone back to the office. Yeah. It is even more paramount than ever that you are outcome focused rather than input focused. You cannot see every day, unless you've got that person's webcam turned on, which I don't recommend, 9 till 5 that they're going to be at their desk. We operate a complete policy here where we are outcome focused. It doesn't matter if people come in at 8 in the morning, want to leave at 4 in the afternoon. It doesn't matter if people want to work Saturdays and take Mondays off, as long as the outputs are there. But each person individually is responsible for a set of tasks, for a certain set of outcomes at the end of that month. If they're not there at the end of the month, we'll help them, we'll coach them, we'll work with them. But we don't really care if people are working 9-5 at the end of the month, as long as everybody's done what they needed to do within that. It gives them a heck of a lot of freedom. Yeah. So we're going to have to keep moving on. We're going to have to keep moving on. This is a little bit about our team. I was going to talk on this, but we're probably going to have to fire straight over this one as well.
There's some faces.
Some faces, people work here. Yeah. So this is a really key one. I don't think most organizations spend enough time analyzing how they make profit. Now, I know this sounds like a very simple thing, but organizations, if you want to scale very quickly, you have to have a good source of profit. Your profit's coming in, then you can reinvest that back in and grow again year on year on year. But for me, most organizations that we work with as part-time sales directors or in training don't spend enough time actually analyzing which parts of their business make profit. And also, this is a concept that I'm going to talk about now called bottlenecks. Very, very simple process that you can take back to your business and have a look at how you generate profit, just profit rather than revenue, but revenue generating profit, and how quickly you can turn that round. Now, a bottleneck, very simply, is a term used to describe the narrowest part of a business process that results in generating profit. So say, for example, we're looking at this here, you can see that the narrowest part there is going to be the fastest way that you can bring things through that. So if this was sales here and you were pushing revenue through the bottleneck there, you can only move as quickly as that central part. Now, we have monthly meetings where we get together as a leadership team, and we are always looking at the start of that leadership meeting. Where is the thing at the moment that is our bottleneck? What is the thing that is slowing down the engine that will help us generate profit, help us get in front of more clients? If you can't analyze this and you don't have a way of looking at it, it is going to make it very difficult for you moving forward to grow that, to widen it, to service more people, and to grow as you're going forwards. So there's a couple of examples that I'll just show you on this. Thanks, Dan. I think Dan's just put that we are a little bit over. I'm just going to skip over Bob's Biscuits. But again, if you look at this as your stage here, imagine this is your marketing stage. So we market out to organizations. We're constantly pushing out through our marketing channels what we do, what we're about, what we stand for to draw clients towards us. Now, say, for example, if we were bringing in here 100 clients through marketing, 100 leads, for example, but we only had the capacity internally to convert 20 or 30 of those leads, we're wasting money here, number one, on marketing. And this bit here is the thing that is costing us money. Until we grow that sales function, or maybe not sales function, but ability to sell, we're never going to be able to get the outputs on the other side. So there's a few different analogies on this. This one you can see here, marketing is obviously the biggest on there. So sales is the smallest. But at the same point, we work with a lot of organizations, but marketing perhaps isn't feeding sales as much, or the salespeople aren't marketing themselves enough. So it means that you've got a lot of resource sat there in your sales team and a little resource in your delivery team, little resource in your marketing team. And it's a key here is looking at how you can get that as fluid as possible so you can constantly be pushing more clients through there and helping more organizations with whatever your product or service is. So final one that we've got here is marketing. You might have low resourcing, sales, you might have bigger resourcing, and then delivery, you've got huge resourcing, which we've been in this exact place ourselves, where we aren't generating enough revenue and enough clients coming through for the amount of deliverers that we have here. So the deliverers are all sat here getting a bit annoyed because they've not got huge amounts to do, which then means we need to flip over to marketing and then in turn sales. The key thing is here, as soon as you grow one of those departments, it won't create a bottleneck somewhere else. You are constantly creating bottlenecks. This is an infinite game that you are going to be playing as you go through your quarters, if you go through your months. As soon as you change one thing, it will immediately affect and change one of the other parts of your business.
Yeah. The thing I would add then, if we understand the bottlenecks to what generates and where profit lives, what do you do with profit? The key thing that Sales Geek has done over the past 4 years is there's a couple of terms I think you need to think about if you're not already thinking about these things. Good business behavior says you have something called runway in your business. There's lots of different language to this, but runway means that you have a bucket of surplus cash flow, 13-week cash plan, whatever the thing is, where you are, it's a cushion in the event something happens to the business, another COVID hit, something else. So you can go an X amount of months with no revenue coming through the door, and you are still a viable operating business. So the first thing you need to do is build up a cash reserve to make sure that as a business, you've got something in the bank, whatever that number is, 100K, 200K, 50K, whatever it is, that gives you 3 to 6 months worth of operating should no revenue come through the door. So that's the first thing you need to do to build up with your profit. As profit's coming in, you've maximized it, now build that reserve up. The next thing you need to do is to define, if you are an organization that has shareholders or you're a director and you're taking dividends out of the business, you need a dividend bank. And a dividend bank is a pot of money that you will then store over and above your runway that you will all agree as directors to say, that's what we'll take as a dividend on a quarterly basis. And then anything beyond that pure profit that you've worked out, that's investment. Absolutely. That is all back in the business. You spend it on people and you spend it to your forecast. And this is the biggest, hardest trick I could ever encourage you to do. It's one of the things we still grapple with today and all businesses do. So you've got revenue coming through. You know what you've booked. You know what you've invoiced. You know what's coming down. And then you've got an invoice, you've got a forecast, what you're working on. You've got to have good forecasting models and stuff like that, good processes. So now you're working towards a forecast. And between what you've got coming in, booked to bill, and what you've got forecast coming in, you should then get a gauge of what the revenue looks like and the profit from that. Make sure your 2 reservoirs are ready. All right. And then from that, you are now spending everything else based on that forecast. So this is where you sit at the poker table in Vegas and you're rolling the chips. But to invest and to grow a business, you've got to put that money in. You've got to recruit, you've got to get space, you've got to build product, you have to invest. So profit, as Finchy rightly says, work out the optimal way to build the profit. Once you've got it, cash reserve, an equity reserve if you need to have it, if you're a business that does dividends. If not, just keep the cash reserve. Everything else back in the business, spend against your forecast. It's the only way you're going to do this.
The one thing that we definitely got wrong in the first year, or first probably year and a half, was our inability to forecast. If you can't forecast accurately, you've no idea how confident you can be in your next investments. You don't know whether you need to bank that cash that you've just made from profit and leave it in the business for that rainy day fund, because you're not sure how much you're going to do moving forward. The more accurate you can get your forecast, you can get it 3 months out with 10% accuracy, fantastic. 6 months out, 15-20% accuracy, great if you can do that. But once you've got that model, it gives you a lot more confidence to be going, we can invest in this thing. We can take on that new offices. We can take on those 2 new people because we are confident that we've got more revenue coming in for those future months. We don't need to keep this story to possibly as plump as it might be, because we know that we've got money coming in.
Yeah. Don't keep the cash in the bank. Serves you no purpose whatsoever. Spend it.
Yeah, you're going to get very low interest rates on that cash at the moment. Invest it back into your business. Absolutely. So number 3, So this is a really, I think for anybody who knows us, anyone who follows us on social media, we make a heck of a lot of noise. We are a noisy business. We are constantly on LinkedIn. We're constantly on, not scrolling Facebook, but posting on Facebook. Our content strategy is slightly different from a lot of other businesses. And we see this time and time again. Companies will say to us, oh, we do loads on social media. And we go onto their social media and all they put out is, these are our products, these are our services, maybe these are our prices, this is what we do, this is a case study of what we did for another organization. Great things to put out there. You want people to know what your products are, what your pricing are, etc. The main thing that I would say though here is you have to mix that marketing message with content marketing. Yeah. Now, when I say content marketing, what do I mean? Content marketing is something that is valuable to your target audience, not to you. Is valuable to your target audience. And the very first thing we did at Sales Geek, which really helped us at the start, was we were constantly posting videos on LinkedIn. It wasn't videos of me and James having our lunch and having a chat. We would sit in front of a camera like this and we would talk and give sales tips out to people. It might only be something short. It might be something around closing. It could be something about negotiating, fact-finding questions, only short videos, 1 minute, 2 minutes long. You know, people don't have a lot of time. They want to digest this stuff and go and use it. Now, that really helped us. We weren't selling our services there. When I say selling, we weren't actively going out, do you want to buy this? We were making people aware of this is our expertise. Now, if somebody digests one of those sales tips, uses it on a call, it works, they'll think, flipping out, Sales Geek gave me that was great. We are memorable to them. At some point in the next 6 months, the next 12 months, next 18 months, at some point in their boardroom, there will probably be a conversation about sales. If we are memorable to those people, they will come back to us. And a key metric you can use for this, anybody who's thinking about improving the social media a little bit, 4 pieces of content, 1 piece of sales. So 4 pieces of something that will be useful to your target audience, a crib sheet, maybe some analysis that you've done, maybe a survey that you've done of your clients, which is give you back some interesting feedback. Share that stuff with people. At the very start, a lot of people said to us, you give a lot away. We do give a lot away, but people still want to come back to us and help get us to bespoke that training for them. We've got a lot more content than just the stuff that we give out on LinkedIn, but a key thing here, we gave a lot of it away. And the 4 things that I've put under here, these are things that we run. Workshop Wednesdays, every single Wednesday morning, we run a training session, completely free of charge if anybody wants to get involved in that. Messages afterwards, you can come on our Workshop Wednesdays. 8:30 until 10 o'clock every single Wednesday. Really good sessions. One of the trainers hosts it, and it's just great to get people in. Next one, Strategy Thursdays. James' speciality, talking a little bit higher up the level. This is more for your sales directors, your group sales directors, your managing directors. Free of charge to attend. Goes out on all LinkedIn, Facebook. The huddle. Soon as COVID hit, we knew we were going to be sat at home and we launched the huddle. Every single morning, 8:30 to 9 o'clock, we did a huddle. It was online. We got up to 200 people on one of those. Was noise. We're creating noise. We also do a lot of lives through Facebook, through LinkedIn. Again, talking about some of the knowledge we've got, helping people with some of the challenges. We're very lucky that because we do all that stuff, that brings clients back into us.
That never underestimate the power of putting just your brand and awareness out there. One of the great books you'll ever read, if you're going to put it in your sales armory, is Robert Cialdini's 6 Principles of Persuasion. So in persuasion, reciprocity. Technique number 1, give to get. Absolutely. So give content, give stuff out to people. And for the first 2 or 3 years, we've been given, and we still do it to this day. It's not something we're ever going to stop. These things here, free of charge. It's thousands of pounds worth of content that we give. I can tell you right now, some of our contemporaries that have attended some of these charge many thousands of pounds for what we then deliver. And they talk to us and go, dude, you got to fucking stop doing this, because you know we charge and you're just going out there and doing it. But it creates fandom, and that's one of the things you need to do. It helps that future revenue pot. We've got to double in terms of revenue today because of the fans we've created today from the work we started 4 years ago.
People have asked me before, who's your best client at Sales Geek? And the key thing is the salesperson you think, and who brings in the most revenue. My best client at Sales Geek has never spent a penny with us. It is someone who's out there, who's in the business networking world, that refers a lot of business into us. He is by far our biggest fan. When I say our biggest fan, like he's got the t-shirt and everything, he absolutely loves Sales Geek. He's never spent a penny with us. He's never done any training, consultancy, your sales director, never paid us anything. But if I look at the amount of business he's referred into us by being our biggest fan, I tell you what, he's our best client by a heck of a long way.
And the last thing I would just say on this one, I can't remember if it's on your slides, Finji, but it's just in my head. Doubling your revenue, one of the fastest ways you'll do it if you're a new micro business and you're getting going, if you only have 5 customers on board, okay, and they all spend an average of, I don't know, 5 grand with you, just make maths easy. Ask 5 customers for 5 referrals, you get 10 grand.
Absolutely.
Ask 10 customers for 10 for referrals, you get 20 grand, right? It's in those early days, that multiplication is super simple. And if they love you, love your brand, love your product, why wouldn't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to move on now to number 4. We're getting about halfway point here. Now, this is a really key one for us, really, really key one. Most training organizations out there, and we were very similar at the start, sell programs. We go out, we deliver a program, 12-week program, 6-week program, might be an open course. We thank the person for coming, we come back to the office and we go through the whole process again, going back through the funnel, back through the pipeline, as we were talking about before. We focus as much, if not more, on retention and retainers, getting clients that will retain us for longer periods of time, as we do just trying to get fresh business in. Now, salespeople, I've always been conscious of this, high-fiving each other, just got a deal in, brilliant, and that's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, we just banged the gong today because we've got a fresh client in, a new client that we're working with. We celebrate just as much so when we go to an existing client and go, what else can we help you with?
Yeah.
I know we're working with you on this at the moment.
Yeah.
What else have you got going on that we could add some value to, that we could help you with? Client that you've already got is already a fan, hopefully. If you're providing a good product, good service, they're already a fan of you. You go back to them and ask them, is there something else you can do for them? Turning a £1 client, retainer per month, into a £2 client, dead easy. Ask them a couple of questions. What else can we help you with? Is there any other areas that we can help you with? Or have you got a referral for me? Who else do you know, do you like, that we could work with that would get value? You focus as much on that as you do on your fresh business. Honestly, it's going to get so much easier for you.
And it's a really interesting point. It's one of the most valuable tips Finchi will give you, or I can echo on it. If you're already transacting with a customer, they already know you, right? They know your product, they know your brand, they've got that. It is the easiest thing to do in the world to ask them for that referral. But what we observe in the business world and of business people and salespeople, it tends to be one of the hardest things to say to a client, can I have some more business? Because you feel a bit awkward. Can I have some more? Please, sir, can I have some more? So we have a model where we bake it into the front of our system. So if we ask your sales directors or your sales trainers, they start a brand new customer. So let's say one of you guys comes on board as a brand new customer with us. One of the first sessions that will happen is going through all the process, what's going to happen, what the journey will look like. They will say to you, listen, at month 4 of our program, if you're loving it and we're delivering and it's amazing and we're hitting the KPIs that you want us to hit, on month 4, I'm asking you for 2 referrals. So you've got 4 months, Mr. Customer, to think who in your armory of network and people you know, do you think you want to start putting in front of Sales Geek? Because on month 4, I'm asking. Now, what you've done there is you've set the scene with the client. In 4 months, I'm going to ask you. So the pressure's off now. So 4 months comes down the road, then they ask. And the thing is, it's quite jovial and jokey, but the client invariably has at least 1 referral. Oh yeah, I knew you were going to ask. Here's blah, 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 blah. It makes our world so much easier. And again, 5 customers to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. It's not difficult to do. All right.
Another key one here, guys. We often get this. I mean, we had this previously when we were selling sort of, when I said programs, sort of 12-week programs, etc. Finance departments hate it. Finance departments absolutely hate it because you've got an organization out there that is constantly kicking into the finance department random numbers for 3 people this time that we're putting on training, 7 people that we're putting on this time, 4 people. And finance are like, this wasn't in the forecast and we're all over the place. You can sell retainers to people. Find out how many people over average do you think you're going to put on through that year. We're probably going to put 50 people through your health and safety course, sales course, training course. Brilliant. Rather than us invoicing it at the start, or rather than us invoicing it every month and it going all over the place and your finance department getting pretty annoyed with you, easiest thing to do, why don't we set up a retainer with you? It'll be this amount every single month. And through that year, it means that you can put 50 of your team members on, or we'll deliver this amount of courses for you throughout that year. Finance departments love that. Reason is they can put it in their forecast. And there's no unexpected costs coming in there. It evens it out for them through the year. If you're not offering retainers to your clients at the moment, honestly, you are missing out on such a simple thing. This will really help you when it comes to forecasting again. There is nothing better than waking up on the 1st of the month and knowing that all of your retainers are there that cover your office costs, your salaries, and anything else that you're doing on top of that. It's great, but it's more unexpected. It helps you so much when it comes to making those financial decisions.
Yep, I agree.
Thanks, James.
I got nothing more to that.
I'm glad you read the slides. So on to number 5 now. Key one here: fail fast, fight back. Blow my neck. I cannot tell you the amount of times we have failed in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
We take failure very well, though. I think.
Yeah.
I think we've done a lot of things wrong, and I've put on here some of the biggest things that we did wrong, and I'm going to run through them individually. Very first one I'm going to go for was the webinar that we ran, where we got 500 people registered for it, and somebody had forgotten to upgrade the Zoom account to let 500 people on, so only 100 people could join. This was one of the first webinars that we run. I'm sat there at the desk like that. I've just clicked, let everybody in. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sales Geek webinar. And I'm watching the numbers go up. I'm thinking, this is great. It's such a big webinar. It's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. And it stopped. And I can't do anything. I'm presenting the webinar at this point. I can't just tell everyone, sorry, just give me 5 minutes. I'm just going to go and upgrade the Zoom account. Didn't work. I'll tell you what, we got some nasty emails through from that.
Yeah.
We got some hate mail through from that.
Customers are fickle.
Customers saying to us, I booked out an entire hour of my diary. And we were very sorry. It was my fault. I'll put my hands up this one. Completely my fault. One very small issue. The key thing there, we did another webinar next week. And do you know what? Funnily enough, I upgraded the Zoom account. We didn't stop and we didn't fail at it. Well, we did fail at it, but it didn't stop us. We learned from it and we moved forward on it. Absolutely key. You are going to get things wrong. If you're going to try and scale very quickly, you are constantly going to be hitting barriers and you're going to do things wrong. Key thing, don't let it stop you. Try again.
And it's really important. And for us, again, a key driver to part of our growth in the failures of some of these things. And the hub launch is an interesting one, right? So we have the hub, we have our app, which is amazing. We're going to take over the world with it, and everyone will bow to our greatness, of course. However, in the early stages, in its original development and how we did it, it was our idea, our concept, our thoughts, our things about what we thought we wanted to do. Did we ask any clients? Some we did, but we didn't get the best feedback that we could have done. So we didn't launch an amazing product to start with, or the plan wasn't as great either. But we reverse engineered that really quickly. We recognized and caught very quick what was going on and drag it back in, get the right people involved, fix whatever the areas were in terms of the hub and how we approached it, got more customer feedback on board, and went again, and then went again. And now it's one of the fastest growing apps in the App Store. In fact, it's #1 in the App Store right now. And for any of you that know your sales mantras and peoples and have any heroes in this space, it sits above Grant Cardone's app in the App Store to the point that it actually hacks him off. He has written an email to say, who's Sales Geek and why is your app above mine? Which is quite cool thing to have. So we knew it's tech, it's our future. You will have a product and a service that's your future. You have to play at how you launch these things, at how you put them out there, how you model them, how you market them. Whatever it is you're going to do, you're going to mess around with them. We often call these things split testing and stuff like that. Jonathan and I are split testing marketing all the time, and some stuff works, some doesn't. So we're always learning what will and won't work with clients. The key thing is fail really fast, quick wash-ups, be honest amongst yourselves what went wrong, why it went wrong, come up with a remediation, go again. Go again really quick.
Here's another one that we did. I can tell Charlene's enjoying the things that we've done wrong here, so I'll go with another one. We decided that when we first started, for the first 6 months, we didn't do any open courses. All we did was in-house bespoke training. So Rich and I sat down, had a couple of bottles of wine one night, and went, do you know what, I've got a great idea. Let's do an open course every single week. And we thought, if we charged, I don't know what it was, £99 per seat for the open course, if we did one of those every week with 10 people onto it, did the maths on it, went, that's pretty impressive, that's going to be great. So we launched all of these open courses, but we decided instead of selling places on the open courses, we were going to sell tokens. So you bought 5 tokens for the year or 10 tokens for the year, and you could use them on any open course. Now, for anyone in their head going, that's ludicrous, you idiots, why are you doing that? Yes, it was a very stupid thing to do. We didn't have, in any way, shape or form, the marketing capacity to fill all of those courses, 10 people or 15, whatever the numbers we set over the year. We ended up cancelling far more courses and ringing people and going, you know, you've booked on the cold calling course. And I'm thinking in my head, there's only one person booked on this course. Have you thought about coming on the account management course? And they're going, yeah, but I booked the cold calling one. I'm cold calling. That's why I'm like, I'm just going to have to do a one-to-one here for a full day. Honestly, the amount of issues it caused us, correcting our issues, the time that it cost us to correct our issues, far outweighed the revenue that we did on that. Do you know what we did? We cancelled the whole lot for the year. We scaled it back. We started by doing 1 a month. Much more sensible idea. We can fill one a month. We've got marketing channels and stuff. And then we scaled it up and we scaled it up and we scaled it up. But key thing there, didn't stop us doing open courses. We didn't go, oh, we're never doing open courses again. We did absolutely jump back on there and went, do you know what, we're going to do it, but we're just going to do it slightly differently.
Yeah, and I think the key message here is don't be afraid to fail. You're going to. That doesn't mean your business fails. The aspects of the things you try will invariably not work. Don't be afraid about it. The key thing is to analyze what happened, why it happened, learn from it. And if it still fits your business model, what you're trying to do to scale, progress. We know that the app was our thing, and it is. There's only 2 metrics that drives our business. Everything filters under it. We've got pyramids in our business. 2 metrics that drives our business to triple growth this year. We will be, the plan is in over the 5 years, we will, just gonna do some basic math here. We will 3 times again year after, double the year after that, double the year after that. I'll just get my math right in my head then, get to the business plan. 2 numbers drive that. People on here, because we can sell through to them, and how many franchisees we have as a business. Everything we now do supports those 2 numbers. But we've got ourselves to that over 4 years to recognize, hone the skills and the practices, the whole thing we do supports that top of the pyramid.
Absolutely.
That drives the growth.
100%, 100%. So I'm going to move on to number 6, guys. We will be taking questions at the end. If anyone has got anything they want to ask us, sales related, business growth related, please at the end feel free to throw those into the chat, or if you chuck them in now, we'll make sure we go through those at the end.
We can see the chat, so ask some questions.
Yeah, we can see the chat as we're going through. Charlene, thank you very much for contributing on that. I appreciate that. Right, number 6, you've got to find a way to consistently fill your sales funnel. Now, a key thing here, we talk about the sales funnel quite a lot. It's something that is very well known to us. But if you imagine that you've got a funnel, at the bottom of it, you've got your spout that comes down. You've constantly got to be putting leads, and you've got to be putting clients in the top of that. You're not going to win all of them. If your funnel's normally got a few holes in it, because some people don't make it through the bottom of it, they fall out the side. It's a sales calendar rather than a sales funnel. But your idea with this is always you have to be putting different people into the top of it if you're going to be getting revenue out the bottom. Now, most organizations find one way that works and only focuses on that one area. If you're sat there at the moment and going, that's us, yeah, we do that through email marketing. We constantly email market, and that's how we bring in all of our revenue. The difficulty that you're going to have, and one of the biggest challenges, is unless you diversify the different ways that you're going to put in there, anything can change. Tech can change, the way that people use their emails, their tech, the way that people use social media, it changes all the time. And I worked at an organization going back about 5 years ago that our only route to market was email marketing. We had no other tricks to our bow. Suddenly spam filters started getting better and blockers on emails started getting better. And we realized that we were getting 50% less of the open rates than we were getting before. 50% less open rates meant 50% less leads, which meant 50% less conversions, 50% less revenue, and ultimately 50% less profit. At the end, it all filtered down as we're going through there. Now, a key one for you guys here, these are our main channels that we utilize at the moment. There are others on top of this, but we use LinkedIn a heck of a lot. LinkedIn's a great thing to be using. Message people on there, communicate with them. We've got some great courses on LinkedIn. If anyone's struggling on selling on LinkedIn, please give us a shout. Some brilliant courses on there. We're going to have to do videos as well to attract leads. But LinkedIn's fantastic. It ultimately is the new Yellow Pages, but it's an interactive Yellow Pages that you can see what everyone's up to. It's the dream. Another key one that we do here, and this is what comes under this section, networking. You will probably not be able to go to a networking event around this area within Lancashire that you will not find one of the geeks at. You'll be seeing the t-shirt everywhere, a little QR code to scan the app. We get to everything. We make sure that different team members get there as well. It doesn't matter if you're in sales, marketing, business development, delivery, part-time sales director. We try and make sure that we are at everything. Again, going back to the start, it just makes a lot of noise. The final one I'm going to give you here, and it's actually the wrong icon for it. Make sure you are using WhatsApp to communicate with your key accounts. You go, what? That's a very strange thing to say. Absolutely strange thing to say. If you are going to get that relationship with your key accounts, that you are friends with them, and you're going to get that long-standing relationship, you don't want to just have this formal email communication. Hi, James. Hope all is well at Sales Geek. and you're having a productive week, I wondered if we could talk about the next stage of the proposal that we're looking at. You want to be on that sort of term where you can message James and go, "Hey mate, any chance we can catch up tomorrow to have a quick chat through that proposal? I've got a few questions." Yeah, no problems at all. Responses on WhatsApp, they're almost straight away. If my WhatsApp ping now, I'll tell you what, I'll be looking at it like that. It's instinctive. Great one to use though, with key accounts. If you can, and you've got that relationship, get into the WhatsApps.
Absolutely. The key thing I would say about growing the funnel is you've got to find, as Jonathan rightly says, find the multi-channels to fill it. Golden rule for business, your business model should include sell to, sell through, sell with. Sell to, what I do directly with my clients. Sell through is through affiliates. Sell with is partnerships. Every business in the world, bar none, should have those three as a basic mantra into your business. We develop those over time. Second thing I would say for growing year on year, one of the things that we've been able to do is understand, looking at that funnel, what were the conversion ratios to get us to that revenue point at the end of that financial year? And then if we want to double the revenue for the next following year, looking at those conversion ratios, we've either got to double those conversion ratios, double the numbers, and therefore the number says you should get the same doubled out the other end, or we have to push and pull levers, which is what we constantly do as a business. We analyze how we operate to make our effectiveness to become more effective at narrowing and squeezing those ratios down so that we don't have to work as hard to get the same and or increase revenue. So analyze those funnels, analyze what's going in, analyze the ratios, then project that out 12 months to understand, well, if I want to double my revenue from 100 to 200, what are the numbers now that need to go in? What's the conversion ratio I now need to work to? Plan that out to a quarter and to a month. You then have a plan to get to double your revenue.
Absolutely. Cindy, so a question that's just come through there. Does anyone use Zoom Info to gather potential leads? Zoom Info, great system, very much depends on what you're looking for. For us, for example, I mean, we don't really buy data in. We don't really need to because we do a lot of our own data sourcing. For me personally, if I was going to, for example, purchase an absolute mountain of data, chuck it into our marketing tool, it's not very personalized. The approach that we take, which is slightly different, is we use a cadencing tool. We use something called SalesLoft to build cadences that clients jump into. That's a mixture of doing marketing, but also sales in there. You can personalize those things as you're going along. Now, we don't use Zoom Info, or we don't use that as our data engine to put in the top. What we do is we create lead traps. Now, lead traps, very, very simple concept. Our Sales Geek Hub is a lead trap. However we put it, it's a lead trap. People jump on there, 500, 600 different learning resources that you can jump on, huge amounts of value in that, completely free of charge. But once you join that, it means that you're joining our data engine, and you will get throughout the year, you'll get some sales tips, you'll get some worksheets sent through to you, things that are useful. But yes, every now and again, I will ask you, do you want to come and join the academy? Do you want to join the top 10% of sales pros that are using the hub? Now, what you'll probably do at that stage, if you've used some of the stuff that's on the hub, you'll go, tell me a bit more about this academy thing, Jonathan. I keep seeing it popping up there. There'll be interest from it. And that's how our funnel sort of works. It's one of the ways our funnel works, but very much depends on what you're doing. Zoom Info is a one way of doing it. I think for Zoom Info, you can purchase data in bulk, or you can also have a monthly subscription. Very much depends what you're doing. I would say it's not very personalized. If you really want to be dealing on quantity, it's a good thing to do. For us personally, we more deal on quality of leads, which does mean that we have to take a little bit of time out in the evenings maybe to be researching prospects, to be looking at who do we really want to be working with. So just exactly as I said there, LinkedIn for me, absolutely key on that one. Yeah, so I think that's all on questions. So a final one that I want to talk about here, and this is sort of our best kept secret really, but when it comes to training. But when it comes to training, we offer something which is pretty much completely different to any other organization out there when it comes to sales training. As far as I'm aware, if there's any of the sales training companies on, they might go, we do that, but I've not come up against any contracts
and you
yet.
Can't nick it. I saw you.
Can't nick it. See it. You can have it if you want. We'll develop something now. But we developed something called the 3 pillars of learning. Now, lockdown sort of forced us into doing this, but at the same point, we were trying to move to this model beforehand. But about 95%, again, I'm picking that out of thin air, now I'm going to go with 95% of our training at the moment is done virtually.
Yeah.
Traditional training model, sales trainer comes to client side, spends a day with them, spends 2 days with them, then leaves. Now, I'm a great believer that training, especially in sales, it's a process, it's not an event. And if you ever try and buy sales training, or whenever I've tried to buy it previously, I'd ring up, yeah, can I talk to you about sales training? Yeah, do you want 1 day? Do you want 2 days? Do you want this topic? Do you want that topic? We've ripped that up. We do not operate like that. You ring the office, go, can we get a day's sales training? No, can't. What we do though, is we do it in bite-sized chunks. Now, for me as a learner, I can't sit on Zoom for a full day learning. You've no chance. I'll be getting a brew. I'll be wandering off. I'll be playing Snake. I'll be having a look at WhatsApp. Does anyone wants to play Snake anymore? I'll be doing everything but sat on there. For me, if you want to engage with me, you've got me for an hour, 90 minutes. So all the training that we do is 90 minutes long. It's all done through Zoom, and we focus on embedding outside of that. So we did a 90-minute training session. We then set homework. We set outcomes. We set things for the team to go and do. And then we meet up again with them next week. So rather than doing this big injection of an event to get everybody going, we take it a little bit slower. We'll do it in 4 90-minute sessions rather than one full chunk. I tell you, when we put this in front of people, it's a lot more for them to look at, for them to digest, and for them to go yes to. It is different from anybody else out there. The results that we get for clients as well far exceed anybody else that we've come up against in the market. But one of the reasons is we do it differently. That again tees with the Sales Geek Academy though, and the Sales Geek Hub. So we do live training. We have the Sales Geek Academy where they can go on and do courses. We've got on-demand learning on there. And then we've got the Sales Geek Hub where they've got community, they've got podcasts. And this builds together our 3 pillars of learning, which we've refined and we've changed over time, but definitely gets much better results for clients and better muscle memory once team members have been on those courses. We talk about it called embedding. It embeds the techniques and makes sure that they remember them.
And the reason why we've come to this, and I think, again, in relation to doubling your revenue year on year, we recognize that part of good business mantra is you need to look at what is different in the market. We hear terms such as bleeding edge, cutting edge, and stuff like that. So you might have heard this in industry. So cutting edge is your work at the forefront of something. Whatever the newest technology is, you're on it, you're there, you're working on cutting edge. Bleeding edge is you are creating that technology, you are creating that proposition, that thing. I would like to think that we nudge the edge between cutting edge and bleeding edge as to how we do what we do. We respond to a market. So this is about market responsiveness. So this is now looking at how do people want to learn? We've studied over the years how people want to take and consume services and education and stuff like that. And then we've adapted our proposition to fit both the current world as it sits today, but to try and jump ahead 18 months to how the world might start to look and incorporate services as we develop them. And now all of our ethos and mentality is to push that narrative forward, then change it again to push another 18 months forward. So every time our customers are starting to look at us, they're like, fucking hell, no one else is doing this. No one else is doing this. No one else is doing this. And that helps drive that whole groundswell of, I want that because that's newer, better than something else. Differentiation is king. The other thing I would say to you to do, and it's something we've done loads of, and we do this with our customers all the time. Look at your website, look at your service, look at your product, then go and look at your peers and go and look at your competition. If you look the same, if you sound the same, if you say the same, you have the same imagery as everybody else around you, you are them and they are you. There is no differentiation. Yeah. Therefore, the only thing that separates you is your price, and you will not achieve double revenue year on year unless you double the client base or increase it dramatically even further than doubling. So create differentiation. Try not to work as hard. Anyway, I've rambled there.
It was beautiful.
Was it?
I was feeling very patriotic there. Yeah, it was beautiful, beautiful.
I enjoyed it.
Key one I'd say, we do an exercise when we're in training, and we say to people, what are your biggest unique selling points? And we give them a whiteboard and they've got to write up all of their unique selling points. And people always come up with the saying, we have the best customer service in the industry. The best customer service in the industry. Me too. Every other customer in your market is going to go, we've got the best customer service out there. We are competitive when it comes to pricing. None of them are unique selling points. No. Most of the things aren't selling points. Again, anyone struggling with this, give us a shout. We love doing this stuff.
Just on that, we're often considered the heartbreakers in this thing, because Jonathan's absolutely right. We'll walk in there and we'll say to clients, give us your values, give us your USPs. The moment anyone says people, they're out of the room. Get out. No, if your differentiator is people, you're in trouble. Right? Because at the face of it, at the end of the day, no one hires nuggets, right? You guys are not in the industry to hire complete idiots in your business. You want to hire and are always striving to hire the best into your business. So your people are awesome, but so is everyone else.
So is everybody else.
So everyone has got the best people. So your differentiator cannot be people, and it cannot be customer service. Customer excellence, customer centric. What a load of horse poop.
That was close. That was close.
Everyone does the same. Everyone says the same. Don't do what everyone else does. Sorry, I'm stopping now. Definitely stopping.
Brilliant rant. Love it when he goes off on a rant.
I know.
Video it. I'm glad this is recorded. Normally we just get a camera and just keep it for later.
Do apologise.
So yeah, that's a little bit about, we call it our blended learning approach. Something that, you know, we did a lot of research on previously. From my background, I was head of sales at a university, so I understood the concept of it, but we'd never really implemented it. So guys, that is almost to the end of what we're going to be doing. Final round up there. These are the 7 things that were mentioned there. A key one that I'm going to say, this is number 8, 7.5. Always be selling. Always be talking to people and asking them, can we help you with something? Is there anything you need? Never be embarrassed to sell your products or sell your service. We have got so many success stories, and I think heartfelt, quite nice heartfelt things of people who were really struggling that we went in and helped. I'm a great believer in our products. I'm a great believer in our service. We really help people. Now, if we don't go out and sell something, if we don't ask that next client, do you want us to help you with this? Do you want us to come on board and help you? It doesn't help them, and it doesn't help us. It doesn't help anybody. So with that in mind, this is the Sales Geek Hub. Now, I'm not going to plug this too much. Don't worry, Dan, I can see you quivering here. But a key one, honestly, guys, completely free of charge. Go to salesgeek.co.uk/hub. It's full of free resources, the community section on there, about 570 different learning resources, short form videos, long courses on there. Get yourself on it. It's absolutely cracking. I suppose we'll take any questions if anyone has any questions. I think James is like in his rambles.
A lot in there. I don't know.
But yeah, has anyone got any questions that we can help with?
I think we've been covering them as we've been going through, guys, to be fair. So I think, yeah, there was a lot of engagement in the chat. There are a lot of questions. I don't think there's anything else that's come through. I don't think. Other than there was a question, do you guys have a YouTube channel? I'm not sure. Do you have a YouTube channel?
We do have a YouTube channel, but again, we put all of our content on the hub. You can see I'm really plugging this today, man. But we put all of our content up onto the Sales Geek Hub, so you can download it on the App Store. It is our own YouTube. Call it Geek. We should have called it Geek
Tube. There is a Geek Tube already.
Oh, is it? Right. Yeah, we won't do that.
We did check.
But what I would say as well, Cindy and everyone else who's been engaged in the chat, get connected with Jonathan and the guys on LinkedIn, posting great content all the time. Go to those masterclasses, those workshops they do weekly. Yeah, really recommend them. So get connected with the guys on LinkedIn, and they post lots and lots of content on there as well.